here is do whatever you can to limit your frustration while painting, because the less frustrated you are, the more you will paint, and the more you will paint, the better you will get. The better you get, the more confident you'll be. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Maggie, and every Monday I have a video just like this talking about art and creativity. And today I want to talk to you about how to start an oil painting. And a lot of people don't really get past the starting point to an oil painting before they get super frustrated and want to give up. So first I'll start with concepting. Whether you're doing an observational painting of perhaps like a still life right in front of you, or if it's something from your imagination, you'll want to do a bunch of pencil sketches before you get to the canvas. So number one, do your pencil sketching. Get the idea of the composition down in a few ways, explore some unexpected compositions, really test everything all out before you get too serious with a composition, and keep your mind open as long as possible. Once you're pretty satisfied with your pencil sketch of a composition, then you can move to a value study. And a value study, usually I would do this in pencil. You can do it in charcoal or paint or whatever you like. But a value study helps you understand the tones from the lights to the shadows in your painting before you get it on the canvas in color, because color can be a little confusing to try to understand value from. But the most important thing in especially realistic paintings is value. Value tells the eye how three-dimensional something is, whether it's round or square or anything like that. It tells us how deep the space is. Value is the single most important thing in a painting. That's why you can make a grayscale painting and it still looks like a scene. Once you're satisfied with your value study, then you can translate it over to the canvas. You can do this freehand, or you can do it using a grid method, which I like. What I do is I divide my canvas up into 3 by 3, and that way I can translate my pencil sketch over to the canvas by judging about how far everything is away from each intersection, and I get a pretty accurate translation onto my canvas. Once you translate it over, it's up to you, but I prefer to do an underpainting before I get started with color, and this is basically just an even more detailed grayscale value study than I did on the pencil sketch, except I do it on my finished canvas. So I use just shades of gray oil paint mixed with a lot of turpenoid or some kind of paint thinner, and I just make a tonal grayscale version of my painting in pretty good detail so that I don't get confused when I start bringing in color about where things are supposed to go, and I don't have to make big drawing decisions when I'm placing my color. I like to just focus on color when it's time to focus on color. I would recommend not painting the underpainting very thick at all and really using lots of paint thinner, because A, it will dry a lot faster if you use a lot of paint thinner, and B, if it's too thick, then you're gonna have that thickness underneath your finished painting, and you may not want that. You may want it to be smooth. So I usually wait 2 to 3 days after I've painted my underpainting before I add color. And then when I start to add color, I pre-mix as many colors as I can before. And when I say as many colors as I can, I'm really only trying to do like a light, medium, and dark shade of everything so that I don't get too in the weeds. I'm really trying to understand what's my color palette here? What's the theme of color that's gonna go on in this painting? And I can control that on my palette before I put that paint on the canvas, and it becomes harder to change. Remember, oil painting is not like acrylic painting, because oil paint will take a long time to dry, like a week or longer sometimes to dry. So I like to pre-mix all my paints before I get started applying paint to the canvas. And then when I'm satisfied with those colors, then I start to carefully apply them to the painting in such a way that I am only working on the wet areas at a time. So I don't want to cover the whole painting yet with paint, because then it'll be all wet and I might change my mind about different colors, and it may become a little stressful and a little overwhelming to have to change a lot of areas at once. And so I prefer to just work on small areas of the painting at a time and then expand from there. Ultimately, your goal is to just make sure you're having fun with your painting, because like I said, the more fun you're having, the more you're gonna paint, etc. This is my way of tackling an oil painting, and I found that this method works pretty well to limit the amount of stress that I have to go through in a painting. And these methods make sure that I'm having fun the whole time and that I don't get too caught in the weeds too early. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas about how to make oil painting more fun for you using your methods. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week. Bye!